Dream machines. True car enthusiasts have reverence for certain classic models. Dream cars so special they deserve periodic online searches for someday. But someday too often comes after the market has priced those classics beyond most budgets. The ebb and flow of the classic car market means that values of many models have dropped in recent years, while others are one exciting televised auction away from climbing slightly out of reach. From luxury rides to muscle cars to sports cars from all over the world, here are dream machines that can be realities for a few $1,000s more than the average price of a new car. Porsche 911. The best examples of any air-cooled 911 can be found at or over six figures, but many good 911s can still be found for under $40,000 if you are put off by some mileage on cars from the 1980s and early to mid-1970s. The most bang for your buck might come in the form of the more modern 996 and 997 era cars, which are due for a water-cooled 911's weren't so bad after all resurgence. BMW M5 E39, any M5 at or under $40,000 is worth consideration, although if you're looking at dream cars and future classics, the E39 is the logical way to go since there are still lower mileage examples out there at the price. Many consider these 1999 to 2003 models the apex of the M5, with a balance of power and chassis capability placing it among the best sports sedans ever. Jaguar E Type. Enzo Ferrari was far from alone in proclaiming Jaguar's E-Type the most beautiful car ever made. Beyond beauty, the E-Type delivered high performance for its era that translates even today, especially with the classic Jaguar V12 under its long, sweeping bonnet. Hood. Full restoration candidates are easily found under $40,000, but there are some needing only mild restoration or none at all, as well. Lotus Esprit. The wedge is good. The wedge works. The collector market may be starting to catch on to the Esprit, but with 5 generations ranging from the mid-1970s to the mid-2000s, there are enough out there to find a decent to good one under $40,000. Get the best deal possible and save the balance for your local Lotus Whisperer. You'll be glad you did. Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud. There are a good number of 1980s era Silver Spurs, Silver Shadows and Corniches to be had under $40,000, but the odd 1950s Silver Cloud pops up as well. The Silver Cloud has old school charm and class inside and out. Be mindful of rust and live it up a little. Lancia Delta Integrale. Keep a sharp eye on your favorite online automotive classifieds and you'll occasionally find a Delta Integrale or two, now that they're legal for import to the United States. Of course conditions vary, but close to $40,000 could net one needing only loving care, allowing you to live out your Group B rally fantasies. Pontiac GTO, the daddy of American muscle cars. Pontiac's GTO is among the most beloved and sought-after classic cars on the market. Although the best examples command premium prices, there is good news for dreamers. Many GTOs exist at or under $40,000, ranging from the stacked headlight early models through the curvy, bubbly late 1960s and 70s era. Chevrolet Corvette. The American sports car fantasy, Corvette posters adorn the walls of many young enthusiasts. That love often carries into adulthood, pushing the value of rare and classic models out of reach for most. Fortunately, General Motors makes a lot of Corvettes, so there are many to choose from. If you're looking for a classic, bear in mind $40,000 essentially limits you to C3 era or newer, with the occasional C2 Steingrey available. Ford Mustang. A classic Mustang is a great choice for enthusiast fulfillment in this price range. You'll find a lot of them out there, from fastbacks to Mach 1s to convertibles, with a huge aftermarket for parts as needed. Best of all, you can snag a lovingly restored and kept Mustang with a $40,000 ceiling if you don't have the time or inclination to build one. Ferrari 348. Admittedly, almost every Ferrari is a dream car, with apologies to the poor Mondial, which were it even a little bit cool would be the best Ferrari for this list, but the real dream for most is the mythical cheap Ferrari living in the F355's shadow and with elevated prices on the 308, 328, and Testarossa. 348s can often be found right at or slightly under $40,000 these days. Keep maintenance costs in mind. Of course, major services require removing the 348's engine. Chevrolet Camaro. Much like the Mustang, the Camaro's beauty is manifest in the sheer number of vehicles produced that still exist today. Our $40,000 cap means anything from a full restoration project to a completely rebuilt car with a few years of maintenance records to boot. There's also a flavor of Camaro for everyone, including RS, SS, and Z28 variants from a variety of years, which can all be found right now. BMW M3, E30. For a good many BMW fans, the original E30 era M3 is still the one to have. As time goes on, opportunities to buy one become scarcer, and prices are on the rise. The good news is that for now, at least E30 M3s with higher mileage are still popping up for prices at or under $40,000. If you're good with a wrench or have a BMW specialist in your area, snag one of these now while you can. Land Rover Defender. Modern Range Rovers exemplify the luxury SUV, huge, posh grocery getters with leather and wood trim all around for the 1%. The Defender, however, harkened to Rover's earlier years as the go-to off-road vehicle the world over and looked cool, to boot. Here in the US, gray market Defenders tend to be found from the mid to late 1980s, and in the $40,000 range expect some serious mileage. In any case, make sure the one you're looking at has the right importation paperwork and is more than 25 years old. The feds love crushing them. However, for the off-roader with an Anglophilic streak there is no substitute. Mercedes-Benz 230 SL Pagoda. The 230 SL isn't a classic only because it looks really cool and kicks out killer 1960s vibes all day long. Its arrival in the US signaled Mercedes-Benz's arrival as a producer of cars offering a balance of performance, safety and style, and 230 SLs have proven to be survivors. Better examples can creep up near $100,000, but there are a surprising number available between $25 to $40,000. Volkswagen Carmen Gaia. Italian designed and German built, the Carmen Gaia was Volkswagen's original halo car. Its classic, distinctive body styling makes new fans even today, and a strong enthusiast community means there are many well-kept, restored, and resto-modded Gaias on the market, a great number of which can be had at or under $40,000. Although you can't put a hand on a Porsche 356 for anything less than $60,000 these days, you can get awfully close here. Ford Thunderbird. Ford's response to Chevrolet's Corvette, the Thunderbird became an American icon in its own right, especially the early models from 1955-59. Thunderbirds can get pricey quickly, but many can be found around $40,000. Most at this range will need some mild restoration, so shop carefully and determine what you're willing to put into the Thunderbird of your dreams. Oldsmobile 442. The Oldsmobile 442 rose in response to Pontiac's GTO and a bit of General Motors' in-house rivalry, but grew to represent the muscle car era as much as any other model. The muscle car market continues to see high value in 442s, but there are plenty to find at $40,000 and under. As always, numbers matching cars are going to be more desirable, but again there are a good amount at this range, with many in restored or near restored condition. Alfa Romeo GTV. Alfa Romeo's return to the United States has reignited interest in its past, including the GTV. This sexy two-door is classic Italian car coolness, and while they don't flood the market, they can be found regularly. Even better, outside of very well-kept one-owner cars or highest-level restorations, most GTVs come in at or under $40,000 these days.